Chapter 17. Obedience to the command of Allah is an obligatory duty. Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, when it was revealed to Messenger of Allah, to Allah belongs all that is in the heavens and all that is on the earth, and whether you disclose what is in your own selves or conceal it, Allah will call you to account for it. The companions of Messenger of Allah felt it hard and severe, and they came to Messenger of Allah and sat down on their knees and said, O Messenger of Allah, we were assigned some duties which were within our power to perform, such as salat, prayer, psalm, fasting, jihad, striving in the cause of Allah, sadaqah, charity. Then this, the above-mentioned, verse was revealed to you, and it is beyond our power to live up to it. Messenger of Allah said, do you want to say what the people of two books, Jews and Christians, said before you? We hear and disobey. You should rather say, we hear and we obey. We seek forgiveness, our Rabb, and unto you is the return. And they said, we hear and we obey. We seek your forgiveness, our Rabb, and unto you is the return. When the people recited it, and it smoothly flowed on their tongues, then Allah revealed immediately afterwards, the Messenger, Muhammad, believes in what has been sent down to him from his Rabb, and so do the believers. Each one believes in Allah, his angels, his books, and his messengers. They say, we make no distinction between one another of his messengers, and they say, we hear and we obey. We seek your forgiveness, our Rabb, and to you is the return of all. When they did that, Allah abrogated this ayah, and Allah the Great revealed, Allah burdens not a person beyond his scope. He gets reward for that good which he has earned, and he is punished for that evil which he has earned. The prophets said, yes, our Rabb, lay not on us a burden like that which you did lay on those before us, Jews and Christians. The prophets said, yes, our Rabb, put not on us a burden greater than we have strength to bear. The prophet said, yes, pardon us and grant us forgiveness. Have mercy on us. You are our Mawla, patron, supporter, and protector, and give us victory over the disbelieving people. He, the prophet, Sim, said, yes. Muslim. Chapter 18. Prohibition of heresies in religion. Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, reported, Messenger of Allah said, if anyone introduces in our matter something which does not belong to it, will be rejected. Al-Bukhari and Muslim. The narration in Muslim says, if anybody introduces a practice which is not authenticated by me, it is to be rejected. Jabir, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, whenever the Messenger of Allah delivered a khutbah, his eyes would become red, his tone loud, and he showed anger as if he were warning us against an army. He would say, "The enemy is about to attack you in the morning, and the enemy is advancing against you in the evening." He would further say, "I am sent with the final hour like these two fingers of mine." Messenger of Allah held up his index finger and the middle finger together to illustrate. He used to add, "To proceed, the best speech is the Book of Allah, and the best guidance is the guidance of Muhammad. The worst practice is the introduction of new practices in Islam, and every bid'ah is a misguidance." He would also say, "I am, in respect of rights, nearer to every believer than his own self. He who leaves an estate, it belongs to his heirs, and he who leaves a debt, it is my responsibility to pay it off." Muslim, same hadith, as reported by Irbad bin Suraya, may Allah be pleased with him, has already been recorded in the previous chapter. Regarding safeguarding the Sunnah of the Prophet, see hadith number E585. Chapter 19. Heretics doing desirable or undesirable deeds. Jarir bin Abdullah, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, "We were with Messenger of Allah shortly after dawn when there came to him some people clad in woolen rags, or covered with sleeveless blankets, and with swords hanging down from their necks. Most of them, rather, all of them, belonged to the Mudar tribe. The face of the Prophet changed when he saw them starving. Then he went into his house and came out. Then he commanded Bilal, may Allah be pleased with him, to proclaim Adhan, call to prayers. So he proclaimed Adhan and recited Iqamah, and the Prophet led the Salat. Then he delivered a khutbah, saying, "O mankind, be dutiful to your Rabb, who created you from a single person, Adam, and from him, Adam, he created his wife, Eve, and from them both he created many men and women. And fear Allah, through whom you demand your natural rights, and do not sever the relations of kinship. Surely Allah is ever an all-watcher over you." 4-1. He also recited the ayah, which is in the end of Surat al-Hashar. "O you who believe, fear Allah, and keep your duty to him, and let every one look what he has sent forth for the tomorrow. Warshaju Shubai." Thereafter, every man gave in charity dinar, dirham, clothes, measurefuls of wheat, and measurefuls of dates, till he said, "Give in charity, be it half a date." Then a man of the Ansar came with a bag which was difficult for him to hold in his hand. Thereafter, the people came successively with charity, till I saw 2 heaps of food and clothes. I noticed that the face of Messenger of Allah was glowing like that of the bright moon, or glittering gold. Then he saw Wu, said, Whosoever introduces a good practice in Islam, there is for him its reward, and the reward of those who act upon it after him, without anything being diminished from their rewards. And whosoever introduces an evil practice in Islam will shoulder its sin and the sins of all those who will act upon it, without diminishing in any way their burden. Muslim. Ibn Masud, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Prophet, Salem, said, the first son of Adam, asterisk, takes a share of the guilt of every one who murders another wrongfully, because he was the initiator of committing murder. Al-Bukhari and Muslim, asterisk, the son of Adam in the hadith is said to be Qabil. Allah tells us about his story in Surat Al-Ma'idah, the table spread with food. Verses Arshati Dasenshi, Chapter 20. Calling to right guidance and forbidding depravity. Abu Masuda Uqba bin Amr al-Ansari al-Badri, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, Messenger of Allah, Salam, said, whoever guides someone to virtue will be rewarded equivalent to him who practices that good action. Muslim. Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, Messenger of Allah, said, if anyone calls others to follow right guidance, his reward will be equivalent to those who follow him in righteousness, without their reward being diminished in any respect. And if anyone invites others to follow error, the sin will be equivalent to that of the people who follow him in sinfulness, without their sins being diminished in any respect. Muslim. Sal bin Sa'd, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, Messenger of Allah, said on the day of the Khaybar battle, I will give this banner to a person at whose hands Allah will grant victory, a man who loves Allah and his messenger, and Allah and his messenger love him also. The people spent the night thinking as to whom it would be given. When it was morning, the people hastened to Messenger of Allah. Every one of them was hoping that the banner would be given to him. He, the Prophet, asked, where is Ali bin Abu Talib? They said, O Messenger of Allah, his eyes are sore. He then sent for him, and when he came, Messenger of Allah applied his saliva to his eyes and supplicated. Ali, may Allah be pleased with him, recovered as if he had no ailment at all. He conferred upon him the banner. Ali, may Allah be pleased with him, said, O Messenger of Allah, shall I fight against them until they are like us? Thereupon he, the Prophet, said, advance cautiously until you reach their open places. Thereafter, invite them to Islam and inform them what is obligatory for them from the rights of Allah. For, by Allah, if Allah guides even one person through you, that is better for you than possessing a whole lot of red camels. Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Anas bin Malik, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, a young man from the tribe of Aslam said, O Messenger of Allah, I wish to fight in the cause of Allah, but I do not have anything to equip myself with for fighting. He, the Prophet, said, Go to so-and-so, for he had equipped himself for fighting, but he fell ill. So he, the young man, went to him and said, Messenger of Allah, sends you his greetings and says that you should give me the equipment that you have provided yourself with. The man said to his wife or servant, O so-and-so, give him the equipment I have collected for myself, and do not withhold anything from him. By Allah, if you withhold anything from him, we will not be blessed therein. Muslim. Chapter 21. Assistance towards righteousness and piety. Khalid al-Juhani, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Prophet said, He who equips a warrior in the way of Allah will get the reward of the one who has actually gone for jihad. And he who looks after the family of a warrior in the way of Allah will get the reward of the one who has gone for jihad. Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Abu Sa'id al-Hudri, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, Messenger of Allah sent a detachment to Banu Lahiyan tribe and remarked, Let one of every 2 men get ready to advance, and both will earn the same reward. Muslim. Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with them, reported, Messenger of Allah came across a party of mounted men at Arwuha and asked them, Who are you? They answered, We are Muslims. And who are you? He said, I am the messenger of Allah. A woman from among them lifted a boy up to him and asked, Can this one go on Hajj? He said, Yes, and you will have the reward. Muslim. Abu Musa, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Prophet said, The honest Muslim trustee who carries out duties assigned to him. In another narration he said, Who gives, and he gives that in full, with his heart overflowing with cheerfulness, to whom he is ordered. He is one of the 2 givers of charity. Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Chapter 22. Giving Counsel. Tamim bin az-Adari, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Prophet said, Ad-Din is sincerity. We said, For whom? He replied, For Allah, His book, His messenger, and for the leaders of the Muslims and their masses. Muslim. Jarir bin Abdullah, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, I made my covenant with Messenger of Allah on the observance of Salat, payment of Zakat, and giving counsel to Muslim. Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Anas, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Prophet said, No one of you becomes a true believer until he likes for his brother what he likes for himself. Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Chapter 23. Enjoining good and forbidding evil. Abu Sa'id al-Hudri, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, Messenger of Allah said, Whoever amongst you sees an evil, he must change it with his hand. If he is unable to do so, then with his tongue. And if he is unable to do so, then with his heart. And that is the weakest form of faith. Muslim. Abdullah bin Mas'ud, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, Messenger of Allah said, never a prophet had been sent before me by Allah to his people, but he had among his people his disciples and companions, who followed his ways and obeyed his command. Then there came after them their successors, who proclaimed what they did not practice, and practiced what they were not commanded to do. And he who strove against them with his hand is a believer. He who strove against them with his heart is a believer. And he who strove against them with his tongue is a believer. And beyond that, there is no grain of faith. Muslim. Ubadah bin as-Samit, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, we swore allegiance to Messenger of Allah to hear and obey, in time of difficulty and in prosperity, in hardship and in ease, to endure being discriminated against, and not to dispute about rule with those in power, except in case of evident infidelity, regarding which there is a proof from Allah. We swore allegiance to Messenger of Allah, to say what was right wherever we were, and not to fear from anyone's reproach. Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Nu'man bin Bashir, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Prophet, Salam, said, the likeness of the man who observes the limits prescribed by Allah, and that of the man who transgresses them, is like the people who get on board a ship after casting lots. Some of them are in its lower deck, and some of them in its upper deck. Those who are in its lower deck, when they require water, go to the occupants of the upper deck and say to them, if we make a hole in the bottom of the ship, we shall not harm you. If they, the occupants of the upper deck, leave them to carry out their design, they all will be drowned. But if they do not, let them go ahead with their plan. All of them will remain safe. Al-Bukhari. Salama, may Allah be pleased with her, reported, the Prophet said, you will have rulers, some of whom you approve, and some of whom you will disapprove. He who dislikes them will be safe, and he who expresses disapproval will be safe. But he who is pleased and follows them will be indeed sinful. His audience asked, shall we not fight them? He replied, no, as long as they establish salat amongst you. Muslim. Zainab, may Allah be pleased with her, reported, the Prophet came to visit me one day, frightened, and he said, La ilaha illallah, there is no true God but Allah. Woe to the Arabs, because of an evil which has drawn near. Today, an opening of this size has been made in the barrier restraining Yajuj and Majuj, Gog and Magog people. And he made a circle with his thumb and index finger. I said, O Messenger of Allah, shall we perish while still there will be righteous people among us? He replied, Yes, when wickedness prevails. Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Prophet said, beware of sitting on roads, ways. The people said, we have but them as sitting places. Messenger of Allah said, if you have to sit there, then observe the rights of the way. They asked, what are the rights of the way? He said, to lower your gaze on seeing what is illegal to look at, and removal of harmful objects, returning greetings, enjoining good and forbidding wrong. Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Abdullah bin Abbas, may Allah be pleased with them, reported Messenger of Allah saw a man wearing a gold ring. So he, the Prophet, pulled it off and threw it away, saying, one of you takes a live coal and puts it on his hand. It was said to the man after Messenger of Allah had left, take your ring of gold and utilize it. Whereupon he said, no, by Allah, I would never take it when Messenger of Allah has thrown it away. Muslim. Abu Sa'id al-Hasan Basri reported, Aid bin Amr, the companion, may Allah be pleased with him, visited Ubaydullah bin Ziyad, the ruler, and said to him, son, I heard Messenger of Allah saying, the worst shepherds, rulers, are those who deal harshly in respect of supervision. Beware, don't be one of them. Ibn Ziyad said to him, sit down, you are but husk from among the companions of the Prophet. Aid bin Amr, may Allah be pleased with him, retorted, was there any husk among them? Surely husk came after them, and among others than them. Muslim. Hudayfa, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Prophet said, by him in whose hand my life is, you either enjoy good and forbid evil, or Allah will certainly soon send his punishment to you. Then you will make supplication, and it will not be accepted. At-Tirmidhi, who categorized it as Hadith Hasan. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Prophet said, the best type of jihad, striving in the way of Allah, is speaking a true word in the presence of a tyrant ruler. Abu Dawud and At-Tirmidhi, who categorized it as Hadith Hasan. Abu Abdullah Tariq bin Shihab, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, a person asked the Prophet, when he had just put his foot in the stirrup, what is the highest form of jihad? He, Sam, said, speaking the truth in the presence of a tyrant ruler, an-Nasa'i, with a sound chain. Abdullah bin Masud, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, Messenger of Allah said, the first defect in religion which affected the children of Israel in the way that man would meet another and say to him, fear Allah and abstain from what you are doing, for this is not lawful for you. Then he would meet him the next day and find no change in him, but this would not prevent him from eating with him, drinking with him, and sitting in his assemblies. When it came to this, Allah led their hearts into evil ways on account of their association with others. Then he recited, "Those among the children of Israel who disbelieved were cursed by the tongue of Dawood, David, and Isa, Jesus, son of Maryam, Mary. That was because they disobeyed Allah and the messengers, and were ever transgressing beyond bounds. They used not to forbid one another from the munkar, wrong, evil-doing, sins, polytheism, disbelief, which they committed. Vile indeed was what they used to do. You see many of them taking the disbelievers as their awliya, protectors, and helpers. Evil indeed is that which their own selves have sent forward before them. For that reason, Allah's wrath fell upon them, and in torment will they abide. And had they believed in Allah, and in the Prophet Muhammad, and in what has been revealed to him, never would they have taken them, the disbelievers, as awliya, protectors and helpers. But many of them are the fasiqun, rebellious, disobedient to Allah. Wool, Tisherbai.Bashiyi. Then he continued, "Nay, by Allah, you either enjoin good and forbid evil, and catch hold of the hand of the oppressor, and persuade him to act justly, and stick to the truth, or Allah will involve the hearts of some of you with the hearts of others, and will curse you as he had cursed them." Abu Dawood and at-Tirmidhi, who categorized it as Hadith Hasan. The wording in at-Tirmidhi is, "Messenger of Allah said, when the children of Israel became sinful, their learned men prohibited them, but they would not turn back. Yet the learned men associated with them, and ate and drank with them. So they were cursed at the tongues of Dawood and Isa, Jesus, son of Maryam, Mary, because they were disobedient and were given to transgression." At this stage, Messenger of Allah, who was reclining on a pillow, sat up and said, "No, by him in whose hand my soul is, there is no escape for you, but you persuade them to act justly." Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, "O you people, you recite this verse, O you who believe, take care of your own selves. If you follow the right guidance and enjoy what is right, Islamic monotheism, and all that Islam orders one to do, and forbid what is wrong, polytheism, disbelief, and all that Islam has forbidden, no hurt can come to you from those who are in error." 5-105. But I have heard Messenger of Allah saying, when people see an oppressor, but do not prevent him from doing evil, it is likely that Allah will punish them all. Abu Dawood and at-Tirmidhi.